If you like crockpot recipes, just keep watching. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Tamara, and in today's video, I'm gonna be sharing 4 new to me crockpot recipes. Now, if you are new here, I have been hosting monthly cookbook collabs, and so this is the cookbook collab for the month of August. I hosted these last year, and I am hosting these again this year. They are super fun and a great way to get fellow YouTubers together to share some delicious recipes. So, for my cookbook, I'm going to be cooking out of a new to me cookbook. This is A Taste of Home, Slow Cooker Through the Seasons. My mom got me this for my birthday, and y'all, the recipes in this book are delicious. I've tried 4 so far. I have never tried them before. They were all so good. I have so many that I have marked that I'm going to do, especially for Crocktober. I am so excited. I absolutely love this cookbook. So if you are new here, I always have my cookbooks linked down below, so that way you're able to purchase if you want. But since this was a Taste of Home cookbook, I was able to find these recipes online on the Taste of Home website, so I will have the recipes linked as well, because I understand, you know, a lot of people can't afford the cookbooks. I totally get that. But the whole purpose of these cookbook collaborations is sharing recipes from our cookbooks, just to inspire you to dust off your own cookbooks and cook from them. Their cookbooks have amazing recipes. So I will have both down below. I highly recommend purchasing this cookbook if you don't have it, or if you've never heard of it, because like I said, there is so many delicious recipes. You guys can find the cookbook playlist down below in the description box, so make sure when you're done with this video to click the link, and you guys can check out all the fellow YouTubers that are joining in for the month of August. So I've got 1 dessert, 2 side dishes, which both ended up being corn, and I didn't even realize it. And I also have a main dish, which was delicious. Let's go ahead and get cooking. We are going to start out with corn on the cob. Y'all, I have never done corn on the cob in the crock pot, and I will honestly never do it a different way. This was so good. So in the cookbook, there was several different versions that you could do of this. I chose to do the Cajun one because I had Cajun seasoning, and I thought that just sounded so good. So all I've got is some butter there. It's kind of softened. I just kind of heated it up in the microwave a little bit, but I didn't completely melt it. And then I added in some Cajun seasoning, and I'm just giving the corn a good rub. Those are clean, and I just put them in some foil. And then once you get them well coated, you are just going to wrap them up, put them in your crock pot, and it says to add a little bit of water in there just to kind of help steam it up, and you're going to let it cook. And y'all, I'm telling you, this was so good. It was so juicy and tender, and it was delicious. I will never do it a different way. Like, even if I don't want it seasoned Cajun, just putting it in there with some salt and pepper, yes. This only took about 3 to 4 hours on low, and I'm telling y'all, it was so good. I cannot rave over this enough, and I'm super excited to try it again. Next up is Sloppy Joe Top Casserole. This one I was super excited to try because I've never done a top casserole in the crock pot. I've always just done them in the oven. So you're just going to start off by putting half of your tater tots in the bottom of your slow cooker, and make sure you spray it. I forgot to do that. Either spray it or put in a liner. I went ahead and cooked up my ground beef. I just seasoned it and drained it. Now we're going to add in some tomato sauce. All I had was a big can, and I just froze what was left. And then you're also going to add in some Thai chili sauce. This was my first time trying it this way as well, and we really liked the flavor that it gave between the tomato sauce and that Thai chili sauce. It was really good. It also called for brown sugar, some W sauce, and of course some seasonings. In our opinion, we won't add the brown sugar next time because it was a little too sweet for us. But if you like a sweet sloppy joe like manwich, then you would probably like it. But even for Luke, and he really likes manwich, it was a little too sweet for him. But the flavor from the tomato and the chili sauce was really, really good. So you're just going to mix all this together, cook it on like a low simmer for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then we will add it on top of the tater tots. Once you get your meat mixture on, we are going to top it with the rest of our tater tots, put the lid on it, and let it cook on low for 4 hours. Now, this is one of these recipes, in my opinion, that you need to be home for. I ended up being gone for like 5 to 6 hours, and around the edges, it was a little burnt. It wasn't bad, honestly, and it was not burnt at the bottom at all. It was just around the top at the edges, and all I had to do was take a spoon and like scoop it out, and you could not tell once I did that. And I will show that in a little bit. But this is definitely one of these recipes that you need to be home for. That way you can keep an eye on it, and it really does only take 4 hours in the crock pot. Here's what it looks like when it was done. And like I said, I just took a spoon and kind of like scooped. You can see kind of like where I scooped the little edges where it was burnt. And you can see that one little tater tot that's got a little dark. But I swear it was just around the top. Like, that was it. There was not burnt at the bottom or anything. And I was super, super impressed with the way that this turned out. Now, if you are worried about the sloppy joes being soft at the top, my tip for you is to take the lid off the last like 30 minutes. Just to kind of let them crisp up, because that way that releases that moisture that's holding in there from the lid. Or you can, like the last hour or so, you can take and put a paper towel over top of your crock pot and let it finish cooking as well, and that moisture will soak into that paper towel, and that will kind of help as well. But you're going to top it with your cheese, let that stay on there for about 30 minutes, and then it is time to eat. This was really, really good. I was super impressed, and I will definitely be making this again. Next up, we're doing creamed corn with bacon. Y'all, this one was so delicious as well. I'm telling y'all, all of these recipes I'm sharing in today's video were so good. So we are using the corn that we just put up. I'll have that video linked down below in case you missed it. You also need some sugar, some heavy cream, some milk, butter, salt, pepper, bacon, and cream cheese. Now, the recipe in the cookbook and the one that will be linked below says it serves 20. We didn't need to feed that many, so I scaled it down to what our family needs, and of course you can do the same. So I'm using a 3-cup bag of my corn, and then the other stuff I'm kind of just eyeballing. I'm adding in some of the cream cheese. I'm going to add in some milk, some heavy cream, and then of course the sugar and your seasonings, and then add in your butter. And then you're just going to put the lid on it, let it cook on low. Now, my corn was still frozen, as you see. The recipe says to make sure to thaw it, but I thought it turned out just fine. I was home to be able to stir it, so that might make a difference, honestly. But this was so good. Put the lid on it and let it cook on low for 3 to 4 hours. Here's what it looks like when it is done. All you need to do is add in your bacon. Whew, y'all, I cannot wait to fix this again. Everybody loved this. This one was a 12 out of 10. Last but not least, we are finishing with dessert. This one was so good as well. Now this one is actually like a chocolate espresso lava cake, but I don't like coffee. so I didn't put the espresso in there. So the recipe that you will see linked down below, and then of course if you purchase the cookbook, that's linked down below as well. It will call for coffee, but I just didn't add it. I did change up a couple things because I didn't have chocolate pudding, and so I used vanilla pudding, but I added in some cocoa. And then it also called for white chocolate chips, but all I had was regular chocolate chips, so that's what I used. But that's one of the joys of you cooking in your own kitchen, is you can change things and customize it to your needs and what you have on hand. We're going to go ahead and mix our cake mix according to package directions, and we'll get it put in the crock pot. And then you're going to mix your pudding mix according to package directions as well. And then, like I said, since I didn't have the chocolate pudding, I added some cocoa, and it turned out just as good. Now you're going to take and add in your cake batter, and then you're going to top it with the pudding mixture. Set it on low and let it cook for about 5 to 6 hours. You just want to make sure a toothpick or a knife comes out clean for the cake portion. So you might think it's weird putting the cake at the bottom, but texture-wise and as it bakes, the pudding will sink down and the cake will rise and bake up. So here's what it looks like when it's done, and then you're going to take and top it with your chocolate chips, put the lid on it, and let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes just to melt the chocolate chips. And here is my bowl. I topped it with some Cool Whip, but you can definitely top it with some vanilla ice cream. Ooh, this one was so good. Here's kind of what it looks like in the crock pot. I know it's a little difficult, but you can see how it's got that nice pudding at the bottom, like your lava, and then you have the cake on top. Highly recommend. That's it, guys. That wraps up today's video. I really hope you enjoyed these 4 new to me crock pot recipes. I hope that you give at least one of these a try. All of these were 10 out of 10. They were so good. Don't forget that today's video was an open collab hosted by myself. Make sure you check out the playlist link down below to get all of the cookbook inspiration. And make sure you give those other ladies some love. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.